The tenor banjo, which is what this is. I thought, because a lot of people have asked me about the tenor banjo and they've seen me playing it on videos and at gigs, there's been a kind of assumption that it's just another kind of ukulele, and it isn't. But if you are a ukulele player, there's a nice easy way to access this instrument. And I'm going to show that to you now. First of all, there are different ways to tune the 4-string tenor banjo. One of them is Irish traditional musicians will tune it an octave below G, D, A, E, an octave below a mandolin, which is great because it means all the fingerings are the same as the mandolin and the mandolin fingerings are the same as the fiddle, and everyone's playing in a nice key and no one's struggling to play that awkward key on their instrument. I've got mine tuned to those same intervals, so I could play Irish trad tunes on here, but they'd come out in the wrong key. But because I don't tend to play that sort of music, because I tend to play more jazz and bluesy kind of stuff, I'm tuned to what's called jazz tuning, or often called standard tuning, which is C, G, D, A. The instrument's tuned in fifths, which just really means that if I go through a scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when I get to the 5th step of the scale, that's the next string, and then I start again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's the note for the next string, and that's the note for the next string. All of the strings are the same distance musically apart. So if you're a ukulele player, how can you easily access this instrument? Well, a lot of people, and I have done in the past when I first got one, just tune it DGBE with a different set of strings, of course, and you've basically got a metal strung big baritone banjo ukulele. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Lots of great players tuned DGBE in the past and still do. But I really was attracted to this instrument because of the sound of the tuning. So let's have a look at how it relates to the ukulele. First of all, the string nearest the floor in playing position is the same. Our A string is the same. Brilliant. Our next string down is a D on the banjo and an E on the ukulele, which means I only have to raise it up 2 frets for it to be exactly the same as the note on the ukulele. Right, next string down for me is a G. Now I don't have a low G on my ukuleles, but if you had a low G, that would be the same as your 4th string, your low G on your ukulele. But I'm only on my 3rd string. And my 4th string is a C. Now we do have a C on the ukulele. It's not our 4th string though, it's our 3rd string. The only difference is I'm a whole octave below the C string on the ukulele. So straight away you can see that the range of this instrument in one position is huge compared to the ukulele. For example, if I play a C chord on here, and I'll show you how this works in a moment, a C chord on the ukulele covers 1 octave. This covers 2 octaves. There's a whole 2 octaves between that bottom C and that top C note. All in the same fret sort of range. I'm not stretching, I'm not doing anything fancy. The tuning spreads those chords out, and it's what attracted me to the sound of the tenor banjo. So let's think, how can we access this if we already know how to play the ukulele and have no clue where to start on here? Well, the great news is that the friendly key for this is C, just like it is on our ukulele. Let's find some chords from the ukulele and figure out how we convert them. This is the rule that we have to do. We have to do absolutely nothing to the string nearest the floor, the A string, because that's the same on both instruments. the next string down, to make a ukulele chord turn into a tenor banjo chord, I have to raise it up by 2 frets on my tenor banjo to get the same note I would have there. And because these bottom 2 strings, even though one of them's an octave out and they're the other way around, they're still the same 2 notes. We still have a G and we still have a C, but they're flipped. So if we flip whatever we're doing on those 2 strings, that will work also. Right, I'm going to get close to the camera now so you can see my fingers, and I'm going to show you some on the ukulele and then on here and how we got there. Okay, here we are. C chord on the ukulele. Open, 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 3. Okay, let's convert that to the tenor banjo. Okay, I'm holding down that same thing I just had. It's obviously not a C chord. What do I do? Well, first string, it's the same. Nothing happens. That's good because that's where my finger is. Next string, I have to raise my up by 2 frets to match the ukulele one. So I'll play that with my second finger instead, and I will play the 2nd fret of the next string down, raise that one up. The next thing is that we have to take the bottom 2 strings, and whatever we're doing on them, we reverse it. We're not doing anything on them. That means they can stay as they are. They're both open, doesn't matter which way around they are. That is a tenor banjo C chord. That was easy to convert, wasn't it? Right, let's find a couple more. Okay, G7 on our ukulele. Here's a G7 chord. I'm sure you already know that one if you're watching this video. So remember that shape? We'll take it over to the tenor banjo. Okay, here I am playing that same shape on the tenor banjo. So what do I have to do? Well, this string here stays the same. So I do nothing with that one. The next string, which my index finger's holding, I have to raise up by 2 frets. Okay, I'm going to have to re-finger this. Oh look, it just looks like a regular old G chord now. Right, then the bottom 2 strings, I have to swap them around. So instead of the bottom one being open and this one at the 2nd fret, I will take that finger, take it off that string, make that one open, and pop it down on that string instead. So now I have that shape, where those 2 are both in the 2nd fret, that one's in the 3rd fret, and we have converted the G7 on the ukulele to a G7 on the tenor banjo. Okay, let's do one more. Well, we've got C and G7, let's have an F. Now, the thing is with the F chord, we have a bit of an option here. We can play an F with 2 fingers like that, or we can add this finger, or our little finger if you prefer, on the 3rd fret of the string nearest the floor. But the good news is that on our tenor banjo, this string here stays the same. So we can leave it off or put it on just like we can on here. So let's get that shape. Remember, this one's optional. And go over to the tenor banjo. Okay, here we are on the tenor banjo, and I am playing that same F chord, and I have this optional note here. So how do we convert it? Well, this one can stay exactly where it is, which means we can put it on at the 3rd fret or take it off, because both of those notes work on the ukulele. They'll both work on this one. Same note, same string. Okay, then we have to look at the 2nd string. Well, currently this finger is playing the 1st fret of the 2nd string. We're going to have to move that up 2 frets. So that's going to go up to the 3rd fret as well. So now we've got that. And then the bottom 2 strings we swap. So instead of being on that string, this finger's going to go on that string. I'll refinger it to make it easier to see. And we now have 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and this one, which is optional on the 3rd fret or open. F chord. Or. So now we've got C, F, or, and G7. And that technique will work on any chord that you already know how to play on the ukulele. Leave the string nearest the floor the same. Raise up the 2nd string by 2 frets. And whatever you're doing on the bottom 2 strings, do it the other way around. So if it is a chord where you've got 2 fingers on those bottom 2 strings, you're going to have to swap them both, not just move one finger. Let's try one like that. One final one to just illustrate that point. Onto the uke. An A chord on the uke looks like this. 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2 open strings here. Okay, remember that? So here we are with our A shape from the ukulele put down on the tenor, and of course it's not right, but we can fix it. So what do we do? Well, the string nearest the floor, nothing changes. That's open, we can leave it open. The second string, we have to raise that up by 2 frets. So we get our ring finger and we pop that down on the second string, 2nd fret. So we've now got that little sort of triangle shape there. Okay, but the final step is to take the bottom 2 strings and reverse them. So we've actually got a finger on both of those strings. So we've got to take them off and flip them round and put them down the opposite way round. So now we've got that, which is 1, 2, 2, open. And that's an A chord. So if you are interested in the tenor banjo, in jazz tuning, C, G, D, A tuning, it's a wonderful instrument, and it's something that I've been studying for a few months now, and I'm enjoying it greatly. And it's a very logical tuning, so lots of these patterns repeat all over the neck. So if you are interested, get hold of a 5th tuned tenor banjo. Make sure you're in C, G, D, A tuning and not Irish tuning, which is G, D, A, E. Same intervals, different pitch. It's like the difference between a soprano and a baritone uke. Same shapes, but you get different chord names. Yeah, get hold of one in C, G, D, A tuning, or get hold of one and get some strings for that tuning and put it on, and see if you can convert some of your ukulele chords to the tenor banjo and become a tenor banjo player, because it's a fine instrument. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.